Hi, Ari, it's Travis here, and welcome back to our adventures in Azeroth. Last episode, we did the triage quest and became a doctor, and we also freed some of the Theramore soldiers from Blackhoof Village. And I guess what, guys? I forgot to have my mic turned on, so my mic was muted, and yeah, couldn't hear my audio in the video, so I am doing a voiceover of this video. I hope that's okay. And right now we are off to the other side of Dustwall Marsh, and we are going to do a couple of quests there. Right now I'm queuing up for a dungeon. And yeah, we queued up for an alderman. I never get in one, though. It's too bad. But yeah, guys. I hate when I mess up like that, but I was thinking, like, do I just upload the video the way it is? Or do I do a voiceover? And it only takes me like a little bit of time to do a voiceover, so I'm like, hey, might as well just do a voiceover. Make it a little bit better. I also was talking about how I got an email from Blizzard and they gave out a questionnaire about Wrath of the Lich King Classic. So it's looking like they are thinking about it and maybe coming out soon. And the questions that I got were, would I be interested in Wrath of the Lich King Classic? Did I play back then? Which I did. And then they also started talking about faction imbalance and how I feel about it. And clearly, I don't really like it. I prefer when the game has, faction balance. And while I'm out in the world, there's a threat of the other faction, ganking me. I kind of enjoy that. I know some people don't. And I think even on a PvE realm, it's probably nice to see the opposite faction sometimes. It just feels more like World of Warcraft when you see that. And yeah, so they asked a couple of questions about that and how I feel about faction balance, and then they said if they somehow helped it get better, would I be interested? And I said yes. And what I'm guessing that they are going to do to fix faction imbalance is what they'll probably make it a lot like retail, where there is a realm. It'd be like pretty much when you're in Orgrimmar or Dalaran, it'll just be your server, and people on your server. But outside of Dalaran and Orgrimmar and all the main cities, it will be an open world where servers will be united, and there will always be like people for you to play with or play against out in the world. So it'll add a little bit of world PvP. It's a little bit of a, I forget what they would call it. It's like a realm, cross-faction realm, I guess you would say. Or a cross-server realm. But I remember in retail it's being like that, because in retail I'm on Bleeding Hollow, and I remember seeing, while I was out doing world quests, I remember seeing players from other servers. I thought that was a good thing. And the thing is, they're already doing layering. And what layering is pretty much splits the world into a bunch of different worlds. And it allows the game to be less laggy. So there's less people, out in the world when you're playing. So I think it'll be a mix of that. There will be layering. There will be like a cap of how many people can be out in the world. But it won't just be limited to your server. It will be all the servers together. I don't know about all the servers together, but a group of servers together, and then they would all be out questing in the world together, which would make questing actually more fun, I think. Alright, if you need to speak with Apprentice Garion, you'll have to find him inside the cottage with Tabitha. At least there he can't steal all the reagents. Direhorn Raiders. The Grim Totems up at the Direhorn Post just to the north are getting bolder by the day. At night, you can often hear them chanting about their deeds in battle against people who've tried to settle here. They are determined to drive us from Tabitha's farm, even though she's trained generations of apprentices here. We've defended the farm as best we can, but Apprentice Garion was wounded in the last attack. Go to Direhorn Post and kill any Grim Totem you can find. The attacks must stop. And there's a nice cloak here that try to get, that we eventually get. And there's a dead player on the ground. I was wondering how he died. And then I was going out to where the Grim Totem Tauren were. But I decided to go back and pick up another quest. Because I had a feeling that quest was just going to be a little too fast.
Hello.
So I decided to pick up another quest here. Which is Zeppelin Crash. Not long ago, a goblin Zeppelin crashed to the east. A representative of the Steamweedle cartel passed through here a few days ago. She was looking for information about the Zeppelin's cargo and its pilot, Beazle. But none of us really got a good look at the crash. I doubt she'll be able to clean up after the wreck by herself, much less recover whatever cargo the vessel might have carried. If you have time, you may want to check up on her out at the Beazle's wreck due east of here near the mountains.
Have a good one.
Okay, so here we go. Now we're going to pick up another one from Apprentice Garion, who's injured. I wish we had a priest or druid out here. I can't continue my studies until I've recovered from my injuries. The Grim Totem Weapon. During the last Grim Totem attack, I was wounded, but not before I managed to capture a curious totem our enemies were using against us. It seemed to be emitting raw bolts of energy during the battle, but in all my experiments, I haven't managed to figure out how it works. I'll loan the totem to you if you agree to help me test it. The watery areas surrounding the farm are home to pesky mottled drywallow crocodilus and drywallow dagger moths. Try fighting the crocodilus near the totem.
Safe travels.
And then I decided to stop there. But yeah, my bad for the confusing explanation of cross-realm. It is confusing. But to make it basic, it's just a bunch of servers are together, and then when you're out in the world, you'll see people from other servers. Now, that is kind of against the way Classic is, because of how, you know, Classic is supposed to be like your server only, and it kind of creates like a little, you know, small town vibe where everybody knows each other and stuff. But the problem with that is that now these servers, well, the server that I'm on, Fairlina, has become a Horde-dominated server. In Classic, it used to have a really good faction balance between Alliance and Horde. And then at the beginning of TBC, it was still pretty damn good. But the problem is that all the Horde servers that sort of died, or the servers that were Alliance-dominated, they decided to come to Fairlina Horde. And what that did was it created a faction imbalance, and then the Alliance were getting like ganked off the server. And now then all the Alliance on Fairlina left to another server, which was most likely Benediction, which is the Alliance dominated server. So Classic has kind of just became pretty bad in terms of faction balance. The server I'm on here, Squiddly Diddly, Grobulus, is actually pretty good. It's not a bad faction balance. It's mostly Alliance, but there are a decent amount of Horde. But yeah, I think if they did add, you know, just the realm swap, like the realm, I don't know what to call it, but you know what I mean. If there was a bunch of realms together out in the open world, I think it wouldn't be that bad. And I kind of hope they do it. I know some people that are like classic diehards would be like, oh, that's not the real experience. But is it really the real experience when, you know, there's no one of the opposite faction on your server when you're out in the world? Like, I don't know. I think that would be lame. I kind of hope they do it because when I level on my rogue, it would be cool to level on my rogue out in the world and actually get to PvP a little bit, because that was like a lot of fun when TBC came out. I remember getting into a couple PvP skirmishes on Flag Carrier, and it was a ton of fun. But if you started a character today on Fairlina, you would barely see any alliance, and it's boring. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm looking forward to leveling up Travadin, but once we get out to Outland, we're not going to see any alliance. So I'll probably try to do as many dungeons as I can. I might even do like dungeons more than once, just to spice things up a little bit. Yeah, here we are at the Grim Totem. We have a couple of quests here. One where you have to put a totem down and get crocolists to go around it. And then we kind of like consume them into the totem. Or something like that, I don't know. And then the Direhorn, you have to get revenge on the Direhorn here. Show them not to mess with Tabitha's farm. And also, yeah, the world first ended. The jailer has been defeated on Mythic by I think it's Echo, right? Yeah, Echo did it, right? Pretty sure that's who did it. Yeah, it was Echo, the European Guild. And then Liquid was behind, and they kind of quit because the players couldn't last over a month, and they were like wiping in that raid for close to a month. So people had to get back to their regular lives, you know what I mean? So Liquid was kind of forced out of the race, which is kind of sad. I hope it's called Echo. I wonder if it... I can't believe I forgot the name. Pretty sure it is. Now let me look it up here. Yeah, Echo. It is Echo. Can't believe I, like, kind of messed up then. I kind of, like... Sometimes I just doubt myself. But yeah, I didn't really pay too much attention to the World First Race. Like, the way I watch the World First Race, I don't watch it from start to finish, you know what I mean? I'm not, like, glued to it. But I do, like... I go in for, like, 30 minutes. Maybe if I'm having a snack, I'll see what's going on, try to keep up. I think that's how a lot of people watch the World First Race. They don't really... Some people probably watch the whole thing, but I think majority of people will just, like, tune in from time to time. And if they see that it's really close to them, like killing a new boss, then they probably stick around a little bit longer. And make sure they were there when the boss goes down. Yeah, Shaman's a lot of fun. I really like the dual wielding. It's kind of weird reacting to myself play a game, but I've done it a couple times now on the channel. Whenever I make a mistake like this, I tend to do this, so I think it's better than just putting the video up with no commentary. There we go, we got a couple Grim Totem left. That one shaman had a Earthbind totem near us. We weren't able to drink. I also wonder if I should have the text here. See the text on the left? Just kind of like looking for group. Sometimes I think I should remove that. Usually I use another chat that shows like what I'm picking up and stuff. I think that's pretty valuable to have. And as a viewer, I would like to watch that. I kind of forgot to change it today, but I'll try to keep... Because it tells you what I pick up and what loot I get, and I think that's a nice thing to see. Alright, now we got one more. But yeah, Echo's been doing great. They won the last 2 world firsts. And, yeah, they're really becoming they're the dominant WoW raiding guild now, I would say. Limit, they used to be called Limit, they're now called Liquid. Took over in Battle for Azeroth from Method. Method used to be the reigning guild for a long time. And then they kind of fell off a little bit, but they're still competing. And then Liquid came up, and then Echo came out of nowhere. I think they were a lot of former Method raiders created it. And that guild's doing pretty damn good. It's nice. It's nice that the raiding scene has more competition now, I think. Grouping up these gators here. Wasn't able to drop the totem because I am not in the quagmire, so we had to get in the quagmire. There we go, we got in. Also, Zul'Aman came out, did a couple of raids, and I decided not to upload it to upload the first one on Flag Carrier because it was a little bit rough. We were wiping a lot, and it would have been too long. So I will upload a Zul'Aman eventually once we get like a nice clean run. The Rogue one wasn't that bad, but we did wipe a little bit. But we were able to get an Amani bear, war bear, on my rogue. I didn't get it, but Warlock by the name of Senpai won it. Congratulations to him. Eventually we'll get one, but it'll probably be a while. It's going to take some time. There's a couple pieces of loot in there that are pretty good. There's a neck for my druid, and then there's also a ring for my druid. There's a ring for my rogue. And also a trinket for my rogue, which is pretty damn good. On-use trinket. So the gear is actually pretty good in Zul'Aman. It's a good time to come back, too, because they removed pretty much all of the attunements in the game. So if you're thinking about raiding, you can just come right back in and you won't have to get attuned for any of the raids. And that's including Black Temple and Mount Hyjal, so... yeah, you can just jump right into raiding if you're interested in that. You know, that part of the game. You know, some people just like the PvP, some people just like the level. Some people just like to do RP, some people just like doing pet battles or collecting transmog or mounts and pets. I think that's the cool thing about MMOs. There's always like a different way to play the game. You don't have to play it one way. I'm just looking around for another crocodile here. There we go. We found the last one. Gonna have to drag this guy over. The totem won't be up for much longer. That hit right there, we almost killed him. Which, good thing we didn't. That allowed us to bring him over to the totem. And we finished him off for the final Crocolisk. Now we'll go back and turn these quests in. And then we get to see an interesting elite here at Tabitha's farm. And I was like, oh, who's this? It was kind of interesting. I wanted to fight this guy. Demon of the Orb. So you drink up, we're getting prepared here. I must admit, I was a little bit shook. We got beat up by King Banglash, and then boom, he just disappeared, the Demon of the Orb. And I was like, what the heck happened? So we weren't able to fight him. And we see the mage in here eating, so we had to smack him in the head a little bit. Because we don't really get the PvP much. But we left him alone after that. I just wanted to check, see how much damage I could do. Brennis, Morlon nods. Good. Can't say I'll miss the company. If you can call it that, you'd think at least in the middle of the swamp you get some privacy, you know? And then we got the Destroyer's Cloak. We're going to put that nice cloak on. A little bit of an upgrade there.
What can I do for you?
And yeah, the mage, he left us alone. Have you had any luck testing the totem? The apprentice listens to you as you describe your experiment. A haze and some lightning, that's it? There's got to be more to that totem than just that. The group totems aren't likely to bring something like this to the battlefield unless it has some kind of utility.
Have a good one.
And there we go, guys. We finished up those quests. And then I came out here to try to get a little screenshot for the video. He took a couple there. I wonder. Now, where is it? Stupid mage is always using the last of a reagent and never replacing it. Sometimes wonder if that's how you say, like, reagent. Is it regent or is it reagent? I don't know. I really don't know. I always call it reagent. Or I don't know. Reagent? Reagent? Who knows? But yeah, guys, we're going to be calling the episode here. Decided to end it here just so we're close to Tabitha.
Well met.
And some new quests, so we don't have to, like, run over next time. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the end of today's episode. As always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.